my grandma, my grandpa, my dog Buddy, and any other relatives that wanted to come over in one house for 10 days. And yeah, right. They're pretty authentic Italian, and I'm not adopted. But what that means is they talk with their hands, so you might see some of this happening tonight. And they really just basically say whatever is on their mind, like I'm talking no filter. So I get off the plane, right, off the red eye, and I haven't seen my mom in a while. She's excited to see me. And she's like, Jennifer, and she's the only person that calls me Jennifer. And she's like, Jennifer, did you get your hair done before you came home? And I'm like, yeah, thanks, Mom. She's like, oh, I meant because it looks a little too blonde for your age. All right, so we just get in the car just to let that first one slide. And we go like right to David's bridal. Like, do not pass go. Like this is not where you want to go off the red eye, but we go right to David's bridal because my younger sister is getting married. And so we're there. It's my mom, my grandma, my sister, me, and I'm trying on all these like heinous dresses with the different sashes that you know you're not gonna wear again. And they're looking at me like the side eye, and I know it's not the dresses. Like I can feel the comment coming on. And so she's like, Jennifer, I think you gained a few pounds. So these are not insults. Like my mom, she's a lovely woman. She just likes to make motherly observations. So I was like, I feel like I should return this sentiment and make a daughterly observation. And I'm like, Mom, you know, since the last time I saw you, you have a few more wrinkles. Like you're really getting down to run for her money. I didn't say that. Because if you have an Italian mom, you know you do not piss the women off. Like that's just, you don't do that. So we get in the car, we go home, and like I said, I'm in town, my younger sister is getting married. Did I say she was younger? As in before me, as, you know. So I'm 30 and single, like, I'm 32. And, you know, my grandma, once we get back to the house, is like, so, do you have a beau? This is what she calls boyfriend. And I'm like, no. And she's like, oh, so why are you single? And I'm like, you know, I'm just like, I'm trying to find love and whatever. And she says, she's like, okay, like she accepts that. And the thing is, she's 90 and she has really bad dementia. So she proceeds to ask me the same question like 27 times. And by like the 28th time, I'm like feeling myself like just boiling up, and I'm like, why am I single? Why am I single? Well, there's a bunch of Peter Pan man children in Los Angeles. I like it but fuck, so if it has to be a one-night stand, then that's what it's gonna have to be. And I might be the only sane person in the city. If this is sane. But she like totally forgot in like 2 minutes, so it was all good. No one knew I said that. And then she asked me though, she's like, you know, I just really want to see you like happy and married before I die. No pressure. And I'm like, well, Grandma, like that's why I'm single, because if I live happily ever after, you drop dead like that, like life complete. And I'm hoping like that she's gonna remember this and thank me in her will. So I tried to, like, when I got back, I tried to take some of this to heart, and I was swiping left and swiping right, and seeing what was out there. I mean, you know, I need a date for the wedding, right? So I'm on there. Let me just tell you quickly about a couple of these little eligible bachelors. The first one, he introduced himself as Man Gorgeous. I don't even know if that was his like name or that's what he did. I didn't stick around. I was like, I'm out. Second date, I go out and this guy takes me bowling. And we have a really, really good time. Like, it was super fun. I get home, I'm telling my roommate Crystal, I'm like, oh, I had a really good time. And I'm excited. And like an hour later, I'm starting to get like sad and depressed. And I'm like, do I like this guy or do I just really like bowling? Because when was the last time I went bowling? It was so fun. So I'm like, I gotta give him like a second chance, right? So I go out with him again, and we go to a comedy show, and we're like having that 2-drink minimum that you have to do before you see people maybe suck. And he says to me, like, just casually, like, you're the oldest girl I've ever gone out with. And he's older than me, and I'm like, fuck, all right. And I'm like, cool. And he's like, is that, are you worried about that? And I wasn't worried about that until this date. And I'm like, no, I'm not worried about that. And he's like, well, aren't you worried that, you might not be able to have kids, like you might have to freeze your eggs? And so I was like, okay, look, if I knew we were gonna do the egg harvesting on the second date, I would have come totally more prepared. So that didn't go anywhere. And dating is really stressful. I don't know if anybody else finds it really, really stressful, but for me, I kind of hold my stress in one spot, my stomach, which basically means I have like violent diarrhea before I go every day. Like I'm talking, like I'm afraid to get in the car. I don't know if I'm gonna leave the house. So this is me. I have like one butt cheek on the toilet and one butt cheek like waiting to grab the cell phone to see if it's 50-50. I might cancel on you right before you come pick me up. Thank you for that. So I met this guy recently who I like, and we've been going out a little bit, and I really don't know how to tell him about this. I mean, it's not like an icebreaker, like, by the way, I have bad IBS. So I was like, what do I do? And we keep going on these dates, and we're having a good time, and he keeps bringing up this one date idea that it's like horrifying to me. He's like, let's go camping. I'm like, no, like he wants to like hike up and set up a tent and all this stuff. So I don't know how to tell him. So I just figured, fuck it. I'll just invite him here tonight. So he's here. Hey. We're not going camping.